Welcome back to On the Hook, the places, faces, and tales of your Myrtle Beach seafood. Today, we're taking our shrimp all the way over to the Mediterranean to do a Tuscan Shrimp Sauté with a citrus and herb couscous. It's gonna be awesome. Now let's get cooking.
Hi, I'm Dylan Foster and I love seafood. I've been in the Myrtle Beach area for more than 15 years, and since then, my life has revolved around seafood. From cooking and catching it to serving and selling it, I've done just about everything you can do in this industry. So come and join me as we tour the places, faces, and tales of Myrtle Beach seafood. This is On the Hook.
On the last episode, we took our shrimp, South Carolina white shrimp, we cleaned them, we deveined them, and we took them and we split them in half. And I showed you how to do that with a knife. If you missed it, make sure you go on back, check out that episode where we talk all about shrimp, how to clean them, where they come from, where to buy them, all of that. Check it out and learn yourself about some shrimp. Here's our shrimp. Like I said, we split them all the way in two. Now we're gonna get to season them. We want that seasoning to catch onto all of those shrimp. So we're gonna take some of our house citrus herb blend that we make here at Tucson Seafood, and we're just gonna liberally season up all of these shrimps. And now that we've seasoned them, you can legally call them scrimps, right? Before there's flavor on them, you can call them shrimps, but now that I've seasoned them, I'm gonna call them scrimps. So we just take that seasoning, mix it all around here on these shrimp, and we split them so that the seasoning is gonna adhere a lot better to this shrimp. So once I get it all tossed around here, I wanna show you what I was talking about in case you missed that last episode and you don't have time to go back and check it out. I'll show you right now. So we took this shrimp and we split it all the way in two, and when we do that, we open up all of these little nooks and crannies, and what that does is gives you a lot of little places to hold on to the seasoning. So that's why we split those shrimp like we did. And if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe our page and our channel. Click that little bell icon so you can check out more of the places, faces, and tales of your Myrtle Beach seafood, because we are here in the capital, the world capital of seafood, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So we have our shrimp seasoned. Now let's get working on our couscous. So we're gonna use a pearl couscous here. All right, this is a pasta, really. It's not a grain. Couscous is a pasta. And we have three different types of pasta here. We have a plain, we have a sun-dried tomato, which is the reddish, and then we have a spinach. So three different variety, and then there's actually a little bit of red quinoa in there as well. So we have our pan here working, medium-high heat. We're gonna start with a little bit of olive oil here in the bottom of the pan and get that nice and warm. And now we're gonna take our couscous and we're gonna add that to the pan and just kind of get it sauteed a little bit, kind of open up these flavors right here. That oil is gonna coat all of those little couscous pasta pieces, little kind of grains, but they're not grains, but I'm gonna call them grains. It's gonna coat all those grains, start opening them up and make it a little easier and faster for us to cook. It's also gonna give it a little bit of a nutty flavor, which is gonna be really nice. So that's 1.5 cups of couscous for this dish. We're starting with 1.5 cups of couscous, and it's not so much like rice where you have to do a 1-to-2 ratio. Typically like a jasmine rice, 1-to-2 ratio, 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of liquid. This is a little different. We're gonna do 1.5 cups of couscous and then 2 cups of homemade chicken stock. Make sure, or vegetable stock, make sure it's homemade. If it's not homemade, it will not work. I went ahead and made this fresh myself. Obviously you can tell. Just kidding. Use whatever you have, it's okay. It's okay. So we're gonna use 2 cups. So that's 1 cup. There we go. Hear that starting to boil already? And 2 cups of our homemade vegetable stock. Don't get held up on the homemade stuff. Use what you have in the pantry. That's what this is all about, right? Using what you have. Don't stress yourself out. It's just dinner. Your family's gonna love you regardless. And if they don't, maybe it's time to start shopping for a new family. So we're gonna let this start to boil. We're gonna bring it up to a boil. I'm gonna throw a lid on it. As soon as it starts to boil, I'm gonna lower it and let it simmer then to get everything nice and cooked. It'll be nice and fluffy. It'll take about 8-9 minutes to get this completely finished, depending on the heat level. So that is how we're gonna start that. Now for the rest of our couscous, we're going to start adding all of our ingredients here to this bowl. And when I say the ingredients, there's a lot of things going into this couscous. It's gonna be a really light but flavorful dish. Lots of hints of the Mediterranean, Italian, Greece, all of that region wrapped up into one dish. Really good for the summer, cookouts, when it's hot outside like it is here in South Carolina. I don't know if you notice, but it is warm. This kind of dish is gonna be light that you can eat all year round, and it's gonna be great. So we're gonna start with some sliced grape tomatoes. I just took these grape tomatoes, sliced them right in half. Then we're gonna take some Kalamata olives. So we're gonna get a lot of salt from these Kalamatas, a little tang. Also, I don't know if you love Kalamata olives. I typically do love Kalamatas. They're gonna be really nice. And now, capers. And here's a little trivia for you. What is a caper, right? Where does a caper come from? We all know these little salty, briny little deals here, but when it was on the plant, what was it? If they didn't turn it into a caper, what would it become? That's your trivia question for the day. Check it out. Make sure in the comments below, let me know what you think a caperberry is before it becomes a caper, and I'll let you know what the truth is at the end. So the capers are going in, gonna give us some tang, some salt, a little bit of brine. That's gonna be awesome. And now some feta cheese, right? Nice crumbly, salty, tangy feta cheese going in there. Another trivia question, what animal does feta cheese come from? Which animal makes the milk that makes feta cheese? Let me know in those comments below. So we have our tomatoes, we have our capers, we have our Kalamata olives, we have our feta cheese. Now let's hit it with some herbs. We have some fresh parsley that we chopped. All right, nice fresh parsley. We washed, rinsed, and dried this parsley just like we should. And then we're gonna hit it with a little bit of fresh basil, or basil if you call it. They're just words. You can pronounce them how you really like. And then a little bit of green onion. So a lot of things going on in here. A lot of fresh herbs, a lot of flavor. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of our citrus herb blend again, about a tablespoon, just to marry the flavor of the shrimp back with the flavor of the couscous. Oh, and check out our steam. We're starting to boil here. Couscous is working. I'm gonna hit the temperature down just a little bit to let that now simmer. So that couscous is cooking quick. We're gonna be ready, and I'm getting hungry, ready for lunch. Last thing into our vegetable, we're gonna take our lemon here, split that right in half, and we're gonna add some fresh lemon juice here to our vegetable. All right, fun little trick. I get this question a lot in my cooking classes. How do I use this tool? This is a lemon juicer or a citrus juicer. A lot of people will put it in like that and then squeeze. Actually, you'll get a little bit more juice out of it if you flip it upside down and squeeze it like this. You'll catch all of those seeds, or try to catch all those seeds. Sometimes they squeeze through. But there you get it. Get a lot more juice out of it when you squeeze it like that. Oh, I dropped one. Got it. See, we not only talk about fishing on the show, sometimes we actually do have to go fishing for lemon seeds. One more squeeze, so that's the juice of one nice lemon going right in there. Whoop, beautiful. So give this a toss, make sure everything's coming together. I want to show you the colors here. Before we even add the couscous, this is just a nice, beautiful, flavorful Mediterranean-based salad. Check that out. Can you see that? We have our tomatoes, kalamatas, capers, feta. Oh boy, all those fresh herbs, and now that citrus. It's the start of a good meal in my book. Couscous is working. Now in this pan, we're gonna get started on our shrimp. So nice and warm on the pan. Let me check our couscous one more time. Getting close. We don't want to start cooking our shrimp until our couscous is close. We don't want those shrimp to overcook, because they will continue to cook after we pull them out of the pan, and we want to have super succulent, tender shrimp that just are across that finish line before we put it on the plate. So we're going to wait, be patient, take a break, don't rush it. Good food takes time sometimes. You can't rush. Take your time, relax, tell a story to your kids, go read a book. It's okay, take your time. All right, pan's getting nice and warm. Couscous getting very close. So we're gonna take our pan, add some olive oil here to the pan. All right, about a tablespoon, maybe two. You can always add more oil if you like, or if you think it needs. We're gonna let that come to temperature. Before we throw all of the shrimp in, we're gonna test one shrimp just to hear the sound. Now quiet, we're gonna listen for the sizzle. All right, we're listening for the sizzle. hear that? Can you hear that? Almost there. Not quite as high of a sizzle as I want. We want to get a nice high heat to get a nice sear on those shrimp. So we're going to make sure it gets nice and high before we add all of those shrimp. Let's test it one more time. Listen for the sizzle. There we go. That's the sizzle that we were talking about. You can hear the difference, the higher pitch sizzle. Now we know that this pan is ready to go. So shrimp are going in. There we go. Listen to all that flavor working. Shrimp are going in. Start tossing them around. We don't want to move them constantly. I want to make sure I get a nice layer of shrimp down before we mess with it. And now we're just going to let those cook, all right? We got to let that cook. We don't want to play with it, beat it up too much. Let those work. So back to the caper. Did you look up where capers come from? What the caper is before it becomes a caper? Yeah? I'm reading those comments. So here's the secret. A caper, if it's not pulled off of the bush and then pickled, will actually turn into a really beautiful flower. It's actually a flower bud. A caper is an unbloomed flower bud. Really pretty cool. So check that out. You don't believe me? Go ahead and Google it. It's right. Check it out. Google the flower. Very pretty flower. Very gorgeous flower. And a cool little fun party tray. Little trivia knowledge. Little chef knowledge for you. There's a lot going on in here. I got to share it with somebody. So we peek at our couscous. Getting very close on the couscous. Very close on the couscous. Give us a little toss here. Oh man, all of that liquid's gonna boil out of there, absorb right into the couscous. It's gonna be really delicious. Because we split these shrimp, they're cooking really quickly. That's another benefit of splitting the shrimp, is they cook twice as fast, right? Because you cut the shrimp in half, they're gonna cook twice as fast. So a lot of benefits of splitting the shrimp, in my opinion. Check that out. We're about 35 to 40% of the way there already. It's only been a minute or so. And you can check those out. They're starting to get a nice pink color all the way through, and they're starting to corkscrew. I'm gonna show you one here. Let me find one that's starting to corkscrew real nice for us. There we go. Check out this shrimp. This is what I was talking about with the corkscrew. Look at it. Instead of turning into a C, it's corkscrewing, which is gonna make a really nice presentation on the plate, and it's gonna be a really, really cool way to present your shrimp at home. So the shrimp, about 75% of the way there. They do not take long. Watch them, they cook really quickly. Again, just over the finish line. Let's peek in at our couscous here. Open it up, look at that beautiful steam. Oh, the smells in the kitchen are absolutely great. Check it out. All of that liquid has now absorbed into the couscous. We don't want it to be super dry, right? We don't want it to be sticking to the pan. So we're going to take that now, and now we're going to add a little bit more seasoning to the couscous. We're going to take some of our fresh herbs. This is parsley. So we're going to sprinkle some of our parsley in there, a little touch of our seasoning, and a little bit more green onion. This is just to season up our couscous. Turn off the heat. And now at the very end, we're gonna hit it with another hit of that fresh citrus. I don't like to cook the citrus in. The lemon juice doesn't cook in because it'll lose all of its fresh citrusy tang when you cook it like that. So we're gonna add it at the end. Probably half a lemon is gonna be good depending on how much juice you actually get from that lemon. Mix that around. Here we go. Now, couscous goes right into our first mixing bowl. That red quinoa, roasted tomato, spinach, couscous, all kinds of flavors in that pot. And now this just gets tossed up to finish our awesome Mediterranean couscous salad. And can you see that at home? I wish you could smell it, because boy, does it smell amazing. You can almost smell the Mediterranean right here in this kitchen. It is awesome. Check that out. Here we go. Now it's time to plate. Let's get our shrimp turned off here. There we go. Shrimp are just over the finish line. Beautiful. Again, don't overcook them. They cook real quick. Shrimp are just over the finish line. Time to plate. So we're gonna take our plate here. We're gonna put our couscous right down the center. You know I like to serve family style. So the couscous is gonna go right down the middle. Look at that. Whew. Maybe you don't like shrimp. Maybe you're crazy and you don't like shrimp. Just do this. You don't need to add shrimp to it. This is a great side dish for really any occasion. Cookout, barbecue, family reunion. This is gonna be delicious no matter what is going into it. And now we can take our shrimp and just put our shrimp right down on top. Let's see here, we're just gonna, I don't wanna add all the juice. We're gonna carefully just kind of fold our shrimps right down on the top here, just over the finish line, just finished up. Look at that, beautiful. This shrimp, it's like a shrimp avalanche. I'm loving it, loving it. Now the last little bit to finish this, I want to take a little bit more citrus and we're going to zest some lemon zest right over the top. I really like using lemon zest. It adds a nice light, kind of sweet but citrusy punch at the end, and also visually it's really nice. Kind of little specks of flavor gold right on top there. It's awesome. So we finish with our lemon zest, that little flavor gold there. Check it out, it's going to rain on us. Rain in flavor, rain in flavor. Here it is. Rain in flavor here in the Grand Strand, your seafood capital of the world. Let's finish with a little bit more green, fresh parsley, a little bit of fresh basil there on top. Fresh herbs always take us the distance. Oh boy. And there you have it, folks. A Tuscan shrimp sauté over a citrus and herb Israeli couscous. This is good eats, and I can't wait to dig in, and I'm gonna do it right now. Make sure we're getting a little bit of everything, and we got the couscous, the feta. Let me get one of these scrimps here. Oh boy, look, see how it corkscrews? See what I was talking about? I'm digging in. Wow. I'm a little biased because I made it, but let me tell you, it just took me straight to the Mediterranean, back to the summers in Greece that I was lucky enough to do a couple years back. This is awesome. You have the tang and the salt from the feta and the calamatas, and then those capers, which remember, used to be would be flowers if we didn't caper them. The shrimp are nice and tender and sweet. They're like little flavor bubbles in your mouth. Everything there just really works together. This is an awesome dish and fit for my family, your family, anybody's family. Check this out. This is awesome. Join us next time on the Hook. We explore more of the places, faces, and tales of your Myrtle Beach seafood right here in the seafood capital of the world, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. See you then, guys.
Beach easy.